Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. We are rounding out the year, Andy. This is the last podcast we will do for 2022. It's been a good year overall, sports betting wise. What was your favorite moment betting in 2022? Out of curiosity.
Are you near a really big clock?
I don't know. Are you hearing?
I thought I heard a ticking. I feel like James. No, it's gone now. Maybe I'm having hallucinations. Yeah, Drew looks great. Drew is late. Drew is here. Everything's under control. Or bomb. Jesus, Patrick. But no. Good Christmas. Happy to be here. Happy to do this. And I got a bunch of bets this week, and one does not jive exactly with your profile picture.
Oh boy, you're going against my. Do I need to be extracting equity out of my package?
No, I mean I just think if them winning, very much not out of where I have this game. It's just 3.5 at a reasonable price felt dumb.
Okay, well,
neither team in this one should be favored by.
I don't mind making a case for Vikings team total over as the secret pod play.
Yeah, truthfully, the over catching some money in that. We're getting way ahead of ourselves, but Tico Johnson says, Drew, did you recover from your Bahamas ear HIV? Boy, if you knew the half of it, Drew is falling apart from the inside. He's going to be fine. I trust that. But let's just rip into this because I've got naps to take. I've got a good book to read. I've got.
Okay, well, let's start with this.
And also, I ordered way too many. I purchased way too many mushrooms. I have like 2 pounds of mushrooms in my fridge, so I'm going to buy some marsala.
You should only take an ounce at a time.
I know.
Excuse me, an eighth of an ounce. My bad, an eighth of an ounce.
But I'm going to make some mushrooms marsala later on today. That's my plan. We'll start with Dallas at Tennessee, and
yes, this Thursday night atrocity.
I'm holding out on this. Can you actually bet this until you find out if they signed Terrell Owens or not?
What? Wait, what?
Did you not see that report?
No.
It came, that Dove Kleinman or whatever?
Sure, yeah. Weird.
It came from him. Apparently, there's actually, I don't think he'd shit us. Like, he values his reputation enough where said there's actually been talks between Jerry Jones and 49-year-old Terrell Owens, which would be just, I have not wanted anything more than I want this to happen now.
I could not agree with you more sincerely. I can't imagine it working out well. It just being absolutely hilarious. That's wild.
Ty catching a long pass maybe has led to this. Like he's just going through the fucking dossiers from 2005.
We've seen enough social media of Terrell Owens over the last handful of years that he's still got it. That guy's keeping himself in top shape. I wouldn't be surprised if that is part of the thinking here, and I don't really know that why. I mean, is he going to play defense for the Cowboys? Because that's kind of the problem. It's not really the offense right now. Interesting market here. This opened at. Did it really open ever Dallas -3, or was that a look ahead open? Because this is now out to Dallas -11. The total is not only is it out to Dallas -11, but the total is down from 44.5 to 40.5. So that is a pretty violent market reaction. I think it speaks to the fact that Tennessee has nothing to play for. Win or lose does not matter to them in this game. Everything for the Jags and the Titans comes down to the Week 18 head-to-head contest. For those reasons, if they get anyone important hurt, then shame on them. And I guess people are expecting this to be a little bit of an exhibition, I suppose. I'm not really going to watch this. Are you?
No, I mean I will because it's on tomorrow. And I did see City got a goal, which I cashed half of my over or my 3/4 bet there. But yeah, this didn't really open I mean, the 3 was the look ahead. Some people, I guess, got that, which was a really good grab by them. But
Well
I
played,
mean,
people.
truthfully, the real open was like 9, and it even from that it got bet up because Derrick Henry, like, he's been beat. He was injured last year. He's been beat up this year, and they have nothing to play for. There's no sense putting any extra miles on that car this year. Put him in the garage, take him out next week. Imagine there'll be a couple defenders that are marginal that'll sit as well. If the game gets out of hand, I don't suppose you really need to protect Malik Willis. He's fucking horrible. But yeah, just
the jury's for sure out on him.
and the thing is too, it says, will you guys be hedging Jags futures? I don't think so. I don't have any at Jags division. Vis-a-vis, I've bet it because I need them to win the division essentially to do anything in the playoffs, obviously, but I won't be. They should be a nice favorite in that game, and they should win that game. Like, I'm not hedging anything Jaguars.
So. I mean, yeah, if somehow they fumble the bag at this point, then, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they can't get past a Titans team led by Malik Willis, then I'm not. I'm not.
We agree that
I'm not thinking they're going to do anything in the playoff sense of good that they died early.
Yeah, and we agree on the Tannehill. He went under the knife. He got the surgery. They're saying he's not done for the season, but that's literally just tongue in cheek or hyperbole. Like, if they make it to the Super Bowl, he may be able to return. We're not expecting Tannehill to come back. This is Malik Willis from here on in, and we have a low opinion of Malik Willis' football ability. Is that right?
Almost certainly no chance. Okay. Like, that's one of those was like, yeah, they accidentally win versus the Jags. They're in the AFC title game. Maybe he has a shot, but no, it's not happening during the regular season. And then, yeah, I'm sorry if you have Derrick Henry in fantasy. It's championship week, and he's it's 99.9%. He's just sitting. Like, so that stinks. So if somehow you made it this far with Derek Carr and
Derrick Henry is your two key pieces. Yeah, not great.
You might want to see if you can pick up T.O., but no bet for me in this one. Like, again, it's essentially you're betting an exhibition game. I could be talked into the Titans team total under. Somebody mentioned that. I did take a 40 on this earlier in the week though to the over. Okay. I was a little again staking down for the week, or we've been staking down over several weeks. So I have a bunch of bets this week. They're all fairly small, but I did think 40 was a little low. I know the Titans won't be. Like, they're not going to start Derrick Henry because that doesn't make sense. Doesn't mean they're not going to go out there and, like, just say, hey, let's skip practice all week. We don't have to put a game plan together because we don't have to play. You don't have to try. Like, they're still going to put a game plan together. You still need to get Willis more reps, get him ready for next week. It's more of a dress rehearsal for next week. So
sure,
I think there'll be some effort there. And the Cowboys offense is just trucking right now.
Yeah.
So if it's an already beat up Titans defense, it's supposed to be the weather's a lot nicer. I don't see how it feels like the Cowboys put up 30 by accident in this one. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, Cowboys team total over the over. I kind of like all them to a small degree, and I did bet some over 40.
I support that. Let's move on to the Sunday slate here. New Year's Day games. Usually we sit around New Year's Day, watch the Rose Bowl, etc.
The parade.
The parade. It is going to be very busy sports day on New Year's Day. Holy smokes. Let's start with what is maybe actually one of the more important games of the entire slate. Carolina taking on Tampa Bay in an interesting contest where we find the current price sitting at Tampa -3, -105. So, they're basically asking you, please take this 3. Carolina has caught a lot of steam in this matchup. This is down from, I definitely saw it widely available in the 5.5 range. And so that's not a non-trivial move across 3.5 to get to 3 flat and 3, please take it. I'm not, even though I did learn the sad news that J.C. Horn is unavailable to play unavailable to play this week for Carolina, because he definitely matters in this contest. Tampa's they got a healthy set of wide receivers. If all of a sudden the light does flip on and there is chemistry between Tom Brady and those guys, then this could get into a little bit more of a track meet rather than every other Tampa Bay game I could remember watching this year, which has just been homework basically. The Tampa Bay games we've seen this season have kind of fallen into two categories. Either they play a really good team that's much better than them, that absolutely throttles them, or they play a bad team that they kind of let hang around, and then Brady flips the switch in garbage time and either gets enough done to win the game or cover the spread, or not win the game without covering the big spread. That's kind of been the signature against these not elite teams. And Carolina, for what it's worth, is playing hard. I can't believe I'm even close to remotely prepared to say nice things about Ben McAdoo. His offensive scheme has worked. He's kind of tacking into the least enjoyable football, where it's just all offensive line and running, and that happens to be working right now for those guys. And so, would expect to have a healthy dose of that. The Tampa Bay run defense ain't what it used to be. So Carolina should be competitive here. I'm kind of a long way around talking myself into an over in this game, even though I haven't bet it yet. Where are you on this one?
I could get with that. It does sound like there's some decent news for some of these defenders for Tampa Bay. Like, if we continue to get good Vita Vea, Jamal Dean, Donovan Smith, if you get two out of those three back, I like the Panthers a little less. I like the over a little less. I will kind of echo your sentiment. Like McAdoo, maybe terrible coach, decent coordinator at times, especially when you get him some weapons to work with. But it's it was a bad opener. It got chomped up. At this point, the market has been in love with Carolina. The market has been in love with Pittsburgh for the last few weeks, and for the most part, it's been right. They're live to win this game, but I've done well to just stay away from Buccaneers games for a few weeks, and I'm going to continue to do that.
That's fair. Fair.
And this number's probably where it needs to be now. But yeah, if the Bucs defense, if those guys aren't in, Carolina team total over, they're going to be able to run, and they've given a little more trust, a little more responsibility to Darnold over the past couple of weeks, and he hasn't disappointed them all that much, even though he's Sam Darnold. So yeah, the offense looks kind of lively. The horn thing matters, which stinks, but yeah, if you have a 7 or a 6 in your pocket, you're feeling very good. And yeah, playing, as Patrick points out, playing the Lions defense will make Sam Darnold look better than he is as well.
Well, he's being very cautious with the football. Like, he's not.
I think he understands. He's like, man, this is my last chance for audition tape to get one more decent job.
Yeah, and realistically, we're talking about a good backup job, not a starting job for next year. And I think he's earned that, given his ability.
In a situation like Seattle, I'd let him. It's like Geno doesn't. You let him compete with Drew Lock in a situation. Maybe like the Colts. You let him compete with whatever garbage you bring in this year.
I would bring him.
I feel like he's not gonna win those jobs, but I bet he ends up in a spot where he's like in a preseason. Hey, he has a shot, and you go look at the odds, and it's like minus 300, plus 200 for him to win the job, kind of thing.
Okay, that's not crazy actually. That does make sense. Let's keep moving to Cleveland at Washington. Boy, oh boy, do I wish we had seen any kind of pulse from the Cleveland Browns, because this would be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot to go ham Browns. The Commanders are very, very inconsistent, and I
bet this under.
The Commanders, their strength is their D-line. Yep. Their D-line gets a little neutralized because the Browns have a pretty decent offensive line, particularly in the interior there. But that said, like, these two offenses are broken. Taylor Heineke now relinquishes his job to the long-forgotten Carson Wentz. Has there ever been a time where a team put Carson Wentz in and said, hey, man, just go take care of business late in the season, punch out tickets to the playoffs, everything will be all right? And it worked out well.
This is when you go to Carson Wentz, it's because you've given up. It's like, and Jesus Christ, I'm outing myself here. It's like when you start wearing sweatpants to work every day. Like that's Carson Wentz, and it's because you can't see my bottom half.
Carson Wentz is wearing sweatpants to work. That's correct.
Yeah, that is it's not. I don't understand this coaching staff, and I have a lot of respect for Ron Rivera. He's had a good career. I feel like some of the shit has passed him by, and I just don't think he's making good decisions at the top level right now. I don't know. Like it's at best it's a lateral move. Like Heineke's fine. I don't understand this. So this will be
because like
the one thing so weird.
The one thing you wanted to criticize Heineke for was the guy was just he had way too many turnover worthy plays that finally started catching up to him. You think Carson Wentz is not going to do that exact same thing?
Yeah, no, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping all the turnovers are arm punts.
Yeah,
and this is a horror. And this could be a really, really ugly game. We've not seen even. And yes, the Browns have they have a good offensive line. They have a good running back or two, but we haven't seen that really do much for them as far as actually adding points.
Yeah,
it's been a really, really, really bad offense, especially now with Watson in. So this should be like I have this at like 37.
Okay, I may end up taking Browns. I need to really, really zero in, dial in on contest game theory because there's a chance fourth quarter pots are up for grabs for me here. I need to have two strong finishing.
And the Commanders obviously have everything to play for because it certainly looks like the Dallas Cowboys will win. It looks as if the Eagles probably win. If that's the scenario, then the Dallas Cowboys will be 1,000% locked into the 5 seed and have no inkling of probably making players start in week 18. And the Commanders if they win this game, they likely just have to beat the Dallas backups to get into the playoffs. So this is massive for them.
Yeah,
which is still it's crazy. Like
when has Carson Wentz ever let you down? When has Carson Wentz ever let you down?
But it's one of those where it's
last year losing to the Jaguars as a 15-point favorite.
Yeah, it's wild because you've got Carson Wentz who just thrives at fucking up this situation, and he got Deshaun Watson and an offense that I struggle to see how they get to like 10 right now. So it's such a weird spot.
Real quick, are we going to get into the position, or are we even close to the whiffs of this Deshaun Watson contract being as bad as the Russell Wilson contract?
There's no chance. Like you haven't seen him play enough.
Okay.
And just it's not even what Watson has done yet. It's just a full season of Russell Wilson playing that badly. Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
Well, let's move on to New Orleans at Philly. Interesting matchup where we've seen this one come off 7. So this was 7 most of the week. It's now pretty widely available 6.5. Some people would ascribe that to some firming of opinion on who the quarterback will be for Philadelphia. It's unlikely we will see Jalen Hurts in this game. We may not see Jalen Hurts for a little while here. And I don't think the downgrade for this particular matchup is all that huge. I mean, the offense should look similar. Gardner Minshew is not, MVP caliber, but he's fine. And, presumably he's going to, be able to at least give the Eagles an opportunity to win this game. On the other side of the ball, the Saints are coming in, presumably, do you have a read on Olave availability? Because I feel like
Olave practiced today.
Okay, that's positive. Because if he's available, then all of a sudden this might be a game.
Pete probably not. So kind of hit and miss in the injury news here. Yeah, some Saints money comes in. That makes sense. This is a pretty decent step up for the Saints, though. And we saw that. Yeah, the Dallas defense is very ripe for the picking right now. But it's one of those things where I hate to compare him to Brock Purdy because we've seen Brock Purdy play like 2 games. But it's similar to that. Like, hey, are there just too many good players on this team for Gardner Minshew to actually look really bad? Like he would have to, the only way he screws this up is like legitimately throwing a ball like Tua did last week, right to another guy on the other team. As long as he's
like
making
3 times in a row.
Yeah, as long as he's taking the easy stuff, like you might have the best 1-2 receiver punch right now because
surely
Devontae is really coming along, and AJ is obviously great. So like, I don't want. I'm not saying I'm going to bet the Eagles because it's a tricky spot still, and that's a lot of points for a backup in a game that just, again, you just have to get it one. I know he was concussed, but that's what I'm saying. That level of bad throws, and I'm actually glad to hear he was concussed, as fucked up as that sounds, because if you throw those 3 passes and you weren't concussed, I'm actually more worried about you. But yeah, regardless, Saints taking money makes sense. I still think the Eagles win this game. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Does winning a 14th game, taking down the 1 seed, taking the division, and doing it with a backup give Sirianni a bump, even if the Niners make short work of their opponent as well?
Yes, this game is win or lose the coach of the year, in my opinion, for Sirianni.
Yeah.
Which means I'm inclined to eat that much more, try to make a case for the Saints and the points to shoot for a middle shot.
If you made me bet this game, it would absolutely be the Saints at 6 or better. The Maddox injury isn't good. The Johnson injury,
the Johnson's, yep. CJ, GJ, he matters. Slay has been poor. Bradbury's really your only good cover guy. If Rashid and Olave are both available and firing in this game, then Saints are going to score. It's just a matter of if you can outscore them by 3, 4, 6. Hopefully not 7.
Yeah, something I did look at just with the secondary injuries for the Eagles was something along the lines of Saints over what's their team total, 18.
Oh yeah, it's going to be in the teens for sure.
Yeah, I like that look a lot. That's
Taysom Hill actually is kind of a nice little wrinkle for them,
because I just feel like the Eagles have the squad to still pull this game out. But like you said, it's hard for me to picture, especially with a healthy Olave. The Saints team total is 17.5. Man, I'm taking a bite of that.
That's the way to hit. That's the shot. That's the middle shot.
All right, I'm betting that.
Because if the Eagles offense is like, look, guys, let's go get it done. We're going to score 28 points in the second quarter here and put this game away. Like, they can still do that with Gardner Minshew, in my opinion. So that's a better angle than betting the Saints. Yeah, yep. I'm there. Okay, let's keep moving.
Bet it.
Arizona at Atlanta. No opinion. Jacksonville at Houston. No, I'm just kidding.
We really.
Do you want to? I don't have.
Let's spend 30 seconds on this. Colt McCoy's cleared.
JJ Watt, congratulations on an amazing career.
Yeah, he's been great. He has 5 touchdown catches. Arizona with McCoy is a lot better. It would be Arizona or nothing for me, which stinks because both teams are pretty bad, but it does make it different. This is a couple of pretty bad offenses right now, but the Arizona Cardinals have much better receivers. It's indoors.
Is this a current line 3.5?
I feel like it.
I did not hear that Colt McCoy was cleared, so I'm surprised. Now I do have an opinion on this game.
It's down to 3 at a lot of places. So
okay. You can't get a 3.5 anymore?
You can get a 3.5 minus 116 at low best price. I would still probably think about a 3 here. I like it with McCoy. He's a pretty big upgrade, and he is a big upgrade. That's saying something because he's not good.
No, but he's better than McSorley.
Yeah, McSorley
doesn't have it.
He's the shitty third doctor on Grey's Anatomy that nobody liked, and Atlanta doesn't have the firepower right now to keep up with this high-powered Colt McCoy-led offense. I'm leaning pretty hard towards betting a 3 here. I wish I'd gotten a 3.5.
All right. No, I'm glad we revisited this then. Ritter, not my guy. At least now with this offense and with these weapons. Defense for the Cardinals playing hard for JJ Watt down the stretch seems real. Like that's on the table. And by the way, JJ Watt was the best player on Sunday night on Christmas. He was the best player in that game, and it was by margin. I kind of can't believe he's retiring.
I don't want to besmirch him because he's always been a great guy. He's been really good about getting involved in charity and, make all the shit he does in the community. He's genuinely seems like a good person. But when somebody of his stature in the league says he's retiring, do you think there's ever a backdoor deal with the league? Be like,
Yeah.
let me take steroids for the last 8 weeks, guys. Because he seems like he's ramped it up a level during this cycle of the season. And that would be the only reason I'd worry that he did, because he did have heart. Remember, he had
Oh yeah,
AFib.
that's right. I did forget that.
Maybe
that's probably what's going on. Why is
you
retiring?
probably have to take and Holland scored. Look at that. You do have to take steroids to help with that. But yeah, he seems like he's playing at a completely different level, and maybe it's just
you don't even have to have you don't even have to have a handshake agreement with the league. You can just do the purgatory of appeals and then walk it right off into the sunset.
I know, but I wouldn't want to have that black mark on my my record at the end.
Yeah. All
right, Jacksonville, Houston.
Jags should be favored by more. Houston's incentivized to lose. Jags are good. The Jags are playing well. They're well coached. They're well schemed offensively. They have balanced offense. They lose Cam Robinson, which stinks, but more for the playoffs in this game. They lose Smoot, which stinks, but more for the playoffs in this game.
I have a theory on this.
Houston's motivation in this one is to not get a third win, period. If they do, people should get fired. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
Jags.
They don't, but at the same time, I think people are worried that. So the Jaguars are not eliminated from the wild card spot, but they need 8 games between 6 different opponents, 6 different teams to go a certain way over the next 2 weeks if they lose this game.
They had the tiebreaker over the Jets.
Yeah, but they still need 8 other games to go in very specific ways for them to get a wild card if they lose this game. And a few of them are less than likely. So their chance of getting the wild card seems very, very, very low, like under 1% kind of things.
Okay.
So I think there's just some worry from people in the market as far as hey, if the quarterback maybe just takes one on the head, or he hits his wrist on a helmet, and it's like, all right, they were gonna, he'd be back in a normal game. I think there's worries that they're gonna be treating this with kid gloves because they don't need this game.
Who backs up Lawrence?
Ooh, that's a good one. Nate Sudfeld.
Is it?
Is he on the other team?
It's not Jared Stidham. I know that much.
I know where Jared Stidham plays all of a sudden. Oh man, this is quarterback. It is CJ Beathard. It's CJ Beathard.
It's Beathard.
And
Beathard.
To be fair, Beathard could probably still beat Houston, but I think maybe that's what's keeping people from laying big points with a team that's been squirrely. Yes, they're incentivized to lose, but the team's been playing hard. They're at home. I think it's probably their last home game of the year against a team that has nothing to play for. It's not a spot I want to go lay road points.
They're coming off a win, though, man.
They're
coming on. There's a very common arc with teams like Houston at the end of the season where they try super hard against too many points. And then as soon as the dam breaks and they get their win, then the next time out is literally they look like they've been partying for a week. And it's a true and utter no-show. And that is absolutely on the table for Houston this week in my mind.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I like the points with the Jags.
There's no chance you could talk me into taking the 4.5 here. I just worry this is a close game in the end.
Okay. Since
here's a good conspiracy theory. Does Lovey and Co. know they aren't coming back and win just to spite Houston?
Woo,
that's fucked up, Charles, but I love it. Chicago, Detroit.
Houston as a franchise overall deserves that, but I hope they lose. I hope they lose by a lot. Chicago at Detroit is a game that is going to be played. Presumably, Chicago similarly comes in with little to no motivation to actually get a W, although I'm sure they would love to play spoiler to the Detroit Lions. This is still a little bit of a mismatch. Chicago, they gave us very entertaining football through the middle third of the season, but the last third of the season has been quite poor from them. They don't really have much to prove. They're not very talented. There's not a lot of good, there's just not a lot of good warm bodies out there for the Bears. And, as underwhelming as the Lions were last week, the prior 6 weeks, the team was playing with a lot of fire. And I would expect that Detroit comes into this one with, a get-right spirit that carries them to the win. Now, that said, I'm not dying to lay 5.5 points, but it does feel a little too low, doesn't it?
A little. This is a game I looked at right away and said I feel like I wanted to bet this under.
This should be like in the long teaser zone.
And then I realized like this game has a very wide distribution of outcomes. The Lions winning by like 40. The Lions defense giving up 200 yards to Justin Fields on the ground and losing, like 34-22. It just feels like, this Lions defense, the way they made Darnold look makes me so nervous. And at the same time, the Bears aren't incentivized to do anything right now. I don't love the stuff from Eberflus. It's like, we're playing our guys. It doesn't matter. We're playing our guys. Right. Like, that's not what you should do. But I wanted no part of this.
I hear you. Okay. Dang. Well, I might. My Lions.
I get where you're coming at.
Yeah,
but
Lions money line might find its way into a little round robin parlay for me. We'll see. Lions are good. They're in a dome. Part of the issues that, I want to give the Lions a pass for last week. Like, the team left it all on the field for like 6 consecutive weeks with their backs against the wall for crying out loud, and all they did was win. And for the dam to finally break and them, take that loss against the Panthers when the Panthers were playing a very physical style of football. And Panthers relatively healthy offensive line and running game as well. Like, it's not like the Bears, the physical Bears rushing attack that we saw through the middle part of the season has been completely MIA going on, 4 weeks. It is literally just Fields scrambling around, running for his life and making magic happen sometimes. I'm not really looking for that in this game. I don't think that's a viable strategy, especially if they're down multiple scores as this gets out of hand in the second half. So Lions are the side for me in this one. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly to bet them yet. I haven't put anything in action there, but
I kind of like the money line. I haven't done a good money line parlay in a while.
Okay. Miami at New England, 0.0 read on this game. Teddy Bridgewater presumably is your starter. He doesn't, he's less concussed than Tua. That's good. He's not exactly the, prototypical mobile quarterback that gives the Patriots defense fits. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are fully healthy and extraordinarily dangerous. Miami's pass rush is out of this world good. New England's offense looks broken. I have been staring at taking the points with the Dolphins all week long. Cannot ultimately get there. Where are you? And how do you read this one?
It's another under I like, and I think part of it was to the Tua being out. The 2 games Teddy played, and I know one he had to step in, cold when Skylar Thompson started and Teddy was concussed, and then he's healthy, but he's not starting, which was weird. But both of those were pretty rough outings. Like, he hasn't looked great. The Patriots offense does not look great. I like both of these defense right now. Basically, are the Patriots good enough to scheme against Waddle and Hill to limit them? Like, you're not going to stop them, limit them to not blow up all over you. Then this game goes way under the total. I think
great point.
That's all you have to stop, because
that's the right angle.
Patriots up front are very good. Like, this is a good under, I think, because it's a scaled down game plan for Teddy. The Patriots offense is bad. This is actually a tough defense. I do think this could be an unwatchable game.
You got this one. The Dolphins, it's worth noting, they had their 3-game brutal road trip. They came home. They looked a bit gassed in the second half of that game against the Packers. Beyond just the Tua stuff, there was some clear fatigue, creeping on a lot of those players, on the defensive side of the ball, especially. The Dolphins just in general not being, not being able to get there physically for this game is live. The puzzle piece not fitting of, Teddy being the type of quarterback that gives Bill Belichick headaches is kind of where I was always getting stuck, but under makes a ton of sense. 41.5 is a good number to bet it under in these conditions. God, I feel like every Patriots Dolphins game that I can even remember has gone under in the last handful of years too, except going back to like the one where Gronk gave up the touchdown on the pitchy woo woo at the end of that game a million years ago. But the week 1 game was 17-16. That never even came close to sniffing the total, which is like 43. Under 41.5 is a fun way to play this one. I'm there. Matt Patricia is not changing anything about what he's doing offensively, and that scheme is so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a bunch of unders.
Good look.
At least it's not the NBA. Denver at Kansas City. Weird spot. You have the new coach bounce, but do you? It's so late in the season. Sounds like Wilson's starting the rest of the year, no matter what. Chiefs pass rush gets home. Could be an ugly one. Broncos offense really, really discombobulated, disconjointed, and now they have a bunch of different coaches calling a bunch of different stuff for them. And it's a huge number for a team that just doesn't cover anything ever. So I don't know how I made cases for both sides of this. Like, it's like, well, it's the Chiefs. They can't cover big numbers, and it's a division game, and it's not a game where they need to do style points here. It's Denver or nothing. But then at the same time, it's like, man, the Denver offense can't score, and the defenses looked like they give up. Well, it's probably Chiefs or nothing, which means, man, this game feels real ugly. Like it just feels like the spread is in the balance for the whole second half, and I want no part of it.
Well, you did a better job of handicapping this one than me. I didn't even really look at this game.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of assuming that Mahomes does
right?
enough. Yeah, it's unbettable. I'm just assuming Mahomes does enough to get the win and to secure the MVP, and that there's not much else to say.
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's say Mahomes, no picks, 1 touchdown, another one on the ground, decent game, wins by 8. Game's never in doubt. Looks good. No mistakes. What does the stat line have to be from the winner of the Monday night game to make it a sweat for the MVP award once the markets reopen? Let's say just even to get it close, like a minus 120 plus 150 kind of thing.
So I don't think the
four
stat
touchdowns.
line, I don't think the stat line is as important as
the win. The win has to come with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the win, and it has to be like an epic game, right? Like it has to be like World Cup final kind of memorable, right?
Well, it's already a standalone game.
I know, but it has to be really, really good.
High.
It has to be really, really good.
Well, and Drew, I think that comes with the stat line.
Okay.
In a game where the winning quarterback throws 4 touchdowns, you're not looking at a 13-10 snoozer. Just the
no. But if it's not competitive,
I don't know. Doesn't a blowout kind of look good too? Like you just went and kicked the shit out of Cincinnati in their home, or if you're Joe Burrow, you threw 3 touchdowns, took down the team that was the 1 seed. You've now beaten Kansas City and Buffalo. You've won 8 games in a row at this point. Like either way, it looks really good. But it can't be a shitty low scoring game.
It's possible that is enough, but I'm super biased here because I've only thought about this question in the context of what's it going to take for Josh Allen to win this award, right? And I feel like Josh Allen has to play the exact same game he played in the playoff game against the Chiefs, except win. I feel like he basically has to have that performance in an epic back and forth. Who's got the ball last? Throws an amazing touchdown. Can't be stopped. Like this guy can't be stopped. He just clinched the 1 seed in an amazing fashion. The Bengals played their best game of the season, and they still couldn't beat the Bills. Like if I feel like that's what has to happen more so than just raw numbers, because at this point you're not catching Mahomes on numbers. And it's never been about, for this game on Monday. I don't think it's ever been about the numbers for the season. It's, hey, you just played there's 3 good teams in the AFC and you just beat another one,
and you threw 3 touchdowns and ran for another one. You had an amazing 3rd down and 8 run that kept the drive alive to win the game. Like you're right. It does have to have a little bit of the dramatic to it. That would help.
Yeah, it does, I think. But that and 4 touchdowns and a win. Right. It has to be.
I think it is 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So. All right. Indy Giants.
Wow, this one's getting away.
I bet this yesterday at 5, and a lot of it came down to, even with another week of prep, like it just Foles he looks bad.
Are we sure?
Right now.
Are we sure they're going with Foles and not?
They
Ellinger?
are. They've announced.
Well, there's been another game this week where they said that they announced a quarterback and then they changed their mind. That's happened already with this with this staff.
That is true, but either way, Ellinger might be worse. I think Foles is going to look a little better. Foles will look better. So
Foles was so bad.
Giants, and the Giants pass rush is finally going to look. And they've had some moments, but they're going to look really good. This is offensive line is making so much money and playing so poorly. It doesn't matter who's back there; they're going to get hit a lot. And Giants win this game, and I believe this locks up a playoff spot for them.
I think so too. 6th seed. We're going to get a rematch, probably of Vikings Giants, which is going to be an okay wild card game. The Saquon Barkley stat line is all I care about in this game. I really, really hope he has a standout performance and kind of rips the comeback player of the year award out of Geno Smith's cold dead hands. I think realistically I
don't understand the Christian McCaffrey money.
I do not either. I do not. I don't get it.
Market.
I don't get it. There was a moment this season that was one of the most frustrating for me, which was being so sure that the Jeff Saturday experience was not going to work, and betting a lot of money on the Raiders because of that, and losing that bet, and being just like, what the hell here? What happened here? And
that game pissed me off
big time. And everything since then has just been like full tilt the other direction. Like, how in the world did we get Chargers at whatever -1.5 at halftime on Monday? How was that honestly the market for that game?
Not only that, but the Colts had the ball at the 20 at one point, didn't score.
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how the market has supported this Colts team instead of rating them as not an NFL caliber team. Like, they're not coached like an NFL caliber team. They're not quarterbacked like one. This is the worst team in the NFL right now. And yeah, okay, laying, catching 5.5 points at the Giants sounds like you're not a very good team, but shouldn't this be like 7.5?
Yeah, that's where I was too. Like, that's why I played the 5. It seemed very soft. Okay. And then Randy's pointing out here too, and I saw this come across. I just got way too many notifications to read them all. I skipped a couple, but Henry listed as doubtful, kind of putting the final nail in that coffin. And that number is out to 12 and 13 in some spots.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I just hope Barkley does his thing. Cheering hard for that comeback player of the year bet, made relatively late in the market cycle. I just don't understand why he's not the favorite there. Jets versus Seattle. Jets, let's go Jets. I don't want to see the Jets in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. But outside of the quarterback so far this season, this is a really good team. Well coached, playing hard, a lot of talent on this roster. They have, they're producing wins from outside of the quarterback position at a clip that blew my mind when I saw those plots floating around this week from, was it Kevin Cole who put them up there?
Yep,
is unbelievable. Like the quality and the talent and the contributions they're getting from every other position but the quarterback. Well, Michael White is back, and while he may not play this whole game because he is an injury waiting to happen because he holds onto the ball forever, and his offensive line is going to give guys free run at him, it still is a huge upgrade over whatever else was going on. My guess is this gets to 3. I think the Jets are the side.
He's Colt McCoy. He's not good at football, but he's a massive upgrade to what you were doing. So, yeah, I agree. I also kind of like this under as well. The way the Seahawks offense has looked the last few weeks against probably an actual good defense finally. Like they've looked bad against some teams they shouldn't have. And at the same time, Mike White isn't the end all be all answer here in a kind of a nasty road spot. I think this total should be 41, so a little under here as well.
Okay, I like that look.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it were one-way traffic Jets and it's just like 24/7.
Yeah, the Seahawks are not a good team, and they're missing some of their only good players. And
Yeah, they're
Geno
getting
Smith has
banged up
turned
now.
back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I think Carroll proved his point about I can take any quarterback and turn him into Russell Wilson, and now he's said I'm done with that. I'm moving on. I don't want to do this long term. It's hard.
Okay, well, hopefully the Jets defense carries it, even if Michael White.
I do think the Jets defense is defense travels, buddy. Don't worry, West Coast. Speaking of the West Coast, the Niners will spend New Year's Eve in Las Vegas, where they will probably just sit in their room and rent a bullet train off the TV and take it easy.
Bullet Train is free. Yeah, no one wants Bullet
Train.
Train.
It's probably honestly, it's streaming already. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it.
It's a good airplane movie, I guess.
Different kind of role for Brad Pitt, but it was okay. I had to look up who this Spanish, Hispanic, Mexican, I don't know, but the rapper guy who played like a Mexican hitman.
Bad Bunny?
Didn't know who that was. I don't listen to that sort of.
Are you joking?
I don't listen to that sort of music.
That was like worldwide. That was the most successful piece of music created in 2022 by margin.
What song?
The Bad Bunny album, all of them, all of the Bad Bunny songs.
The part is too like if you
go look at those YouTube counts, you're going to be like, this can't be right. That can't be.
And the best part is, so if you played me the song, I'd probably know a bunch of the songs. I just don't know who anybody is that sings any of the new songs.
Oh, okay.
I can't. What's wrong with Foghat, guys?
Bad Bunny does numbers.
Yeah, I'm like 40, man. Guys.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, like I'd heard of him, but it's like, who's this actor? I kind of like this guy. It's like
he played at a halftime show last year. He played the halftime show with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. I think he was.
That was like
out there
5 years ago.
No, it feels like 5 years ago because it was pre-pandemic. But that was
remember Shakira?
That was the Miami game. Yeah, that was the Miami game. One in Miami between the Chiefs and the Niners. Yeah, really good Super Bowl.
I'm being a little tongue in cheek. I did go it did drive me nuts. So I clicked on some Bad Bunny on, like you said. I didn't go to YouTube. I went to Spotify. That's easier. And it's like, well, I've heard this song, but I don't know who the fuck this guy is. And yeah, you guys are wrong. K-pop bands are the biggest in the world. Deep Purple rocks. Anyway. Speaking of places where bands like Foghat would have a residency at the Four Queens, Las Vegas will host the Raiders, and the Raiders will host the 49ers in their home stadium there, the Roomba, and they're big dogs. And we had some fun news this morning as, what was it, 7? I think the Niners were 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7. And that news came out, and those numbers were quickly gone. I didn't get nearly the swing I wanted.
Didn't see that coming, by the way. And
no,
I feel like
that was
for not seeing it coming because you saw those numbers on the Derek Carr if he's guaranteed.
The sleuthing, and this guy, he might be a doofus in some other aspects of his life, but he's a hell of a sleuther. And Vegas Refund was the one who put all those tweets together in a hurry in the chat.
Yeah,
he quickly had it like, hey, if this guy gets hurt in these last 2 games, they might have to pay him a shitload more money because they're clearly just cutting him the day after the Super Bowl because it's only like
it's a $40 million decision.
Yeah, it's like $5 million in dead cap. Some GMs piss on $5 million. So the Derek Carr era is over, and I think it was Brett Coleman made the joke, and it's like, that's funny, and then it's like, fuck, is that funny? Because it's probably true. He's like something along the lines like, hey, Derek Carr is clearly the quarterback of the Colts next year, right? Like,
Oh no!
God damn it, that checks out. Like
no.
it's funny, but it also kind of checks out. That is their MO in a nutshell. Because they're not going with Ellinger. But not betting this game. This number's gotten away. At what number would you need to bet Jared Stidham? Let me guarantee you Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams play the entire game, which is not a guarantee, but I'm just in this hypothetical. The rest of the players play. Crosby plays. For the most part, it's the starters minus Carr. What number do you need to bet the Raiders at home?
11, I would get involved. I think the current number is pretty close.
It's getting there. I was gonna say 13 and
13, 13 and a half and 11. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, we're not talking about a big difference.
Yeah. It's we're pretty close to where I would say, okay, now is the time. And honestly, it may be just more of like, because should Brock Purdy be really laying 2 scores on the road? Brock Purdy?
No, I mean, again, it's a little quarterback neutral where they don't need him to do a lot, but it's still it's a road atmosphere. It is a good crowd. Like they have good fans there. So
sure. Also, the Niners defense last week, they got a little exposed. I mean, the Commanders only scored 20, but I lost count. I think the Commanders just converted another 3rd and 15. They couldn't get off the field weirdly, and I don't know. There's a little bit of a blueprint if they want to go. Now, Stidham actually executing that blueprint is a different question.
Yeah, I don't want this. And as somebody points out, Randy, I don't think Adams and Jacobs play. He says that's kind of my sentiment. I'm pretty 50-50 on those guys seeing meaningful time in a game like this. Because they lied. I mean, they're lying to you when they say this, but they did say we want to see what some of the younger players can do. And if you're going to lie, then you have to follow up on that and sit Adams and Jacobs.
Well, here's the question.
Or at least part of the game.
If you really want to evaluate what you have in Stidham, don't you want those guys out there? Don't you want your other good players on the field?
That's a really good point. It makes too much sense for an organization like this.
Okay, that's fair. Well, their mentality may be that the season's over and we don't really feel like playing. So getting the younger body, I'm not betting this game.
I'm not betting this game.
We're going on this hypotheticals. But they if you get a couple of young hungry guys, maybe they pop. Who the hell knows? Minnesota versus Green Bay.
I will. One last point. It is annoying, and I will again all credit to my friend, the Vegas Refund. Everybody who did the thing where they bet the interceptions for quarterbacks not named, we did that last week when Matt Ryan got benched.
Yeah.
Like I have a Derek Carr 11-1 ticket.
Oh no.
Killing me. But I do have Josh Allen 15-1. He's only at 1 or 2 off. So I was forced to take the best Mills number I could find to kind of hedge off that, but not big bets, but it would have been awful nice to get that one home. So if Josh Allen does not have a good day, I need him to have a colossally bad day.
How about Aaron Rodgers? What are we expecting there?
I think this is a high total for a reason. Both these defenses are super susceptible.
Is it high enough?
Probably. It's still outdoors in the elements. It's still Lambeau.
It's open,
but man, this is a bad matchup. The way the Minnesota offenses looked the last few weeks, especially when they need a drive, this is such a shitty matchup for Green Bay. I did take a 3.5 here when it was available. I don't know if anyone has that left. Like the 4s were a bit too high. I mean, this is essentially saying, if you're saying it's a 4, you're saying Green Bay is worth 4 points of home field. Because there's not a power. I don't know. There shouldn't be many power rankings that have these two teams different by more than, I don't know. Like if you made Green Bay 3/4 of a point better, I'd say that's aggressive.
Yeah. Okay.
Like essentially it's a lot and maybe it is a good home field for an indoor team. It's still a divisional game. It's proven to be a bad matchup for the Packers for the past couple of years. Cousins is playing at the pinnacle of what you're ever going to get out of Kirk Cousins. And just it's too many offensive weapons for a defense we've seen get beat over the top a little.
Yeah.
It is soft. But at the same time, Green Bay has shown some life offensively.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers, and they're sort of kind of healthy on offense. So, I mean, the over makes sense. The Minnesota team total over makes sense because it's going to be lower of the two, obviously. And how does Minnesota not get to 24 here? So Green Bay may win this game, but I don't think 3.5 was a reasonable number.
I'm gonna
make it
come.
2.
I'm gonna come.
I make it 2, and it's all on home field.
I'm gonna come clean. Green Bay is not the side here. Not at 3. Not 3.5. No way. Like don't think that just because I am blinded by just some absurd future prices that I am doubling down and betting Green Bay this game.
Talk about their performance last week.
That was.
I mean, I was happy. I was happy for you that they got that win.
If you open up the dictionary and you're wondering what the definition of luck box is, that's the box score of the Dolphins Green Bay game. Particularly the second half comes up. Green Bay is lucky to be here, but you need a little luck if you're going to make history and go to the Super Bowl as a 7th seed for the first time in the history of the NFL.
One up Eli.
one up Rodgers. Rodgers won the Super Bowl as a 6th seed. That said, like it could all come crashing to an end here. And if that's the case, then I just want to own one thing about all of my.
It's funny that his voice cut out here. This is like the Forrest Gump speech at the mall. Like your audio cut out. I just want to own up to one thing, and then you went blank.
Oh, okay. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. Then the enthusiasm was a little bit of an emotional hedge. If Aaron Rodgers runs into the playoffs and then beats all of these terrible NFC teams and goes to the Super Bowl, and I don't have some reason to be happy about that, then it's going to ruin the first month of 2023. Pretty aggressively. Big Cat
Big Cat is very worried about this happening.
Everyone should be. Everyone who doesn't have a Green Bay ticket in their pocket should be worried about this happening. Green Bay by 3 in a game that they don't deserve feels realistic.
So, yeah.
Vikings team total over. What's that going to be? 24?
21.5.
21.5? That's too low.
Yeah. So I like that one as a possible. It's 21.5 minus 110 too. So reasonable price at low vig. Rams Chargers is
a game that will be played.
So the Chargers have sewn up a playoffs berth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could move up or down. So they have something to play for, but it's going to be tough for them, honestly, to move up or down because the Bengals and Ravens are going to be one of those is going to be the 5 seed probably. The Chargers are down a game on them, and then the 7th seed is a full game back. Like there's it's going to come down to tiebreakers maybe. Like they certainly have everything to play for, but they're essentially you're the 6th or the 7th seed. They have clinched the playoffs. So they're in. But moving around is going to be a little tricky, especially moving up. I guess you do want to keep the Dolphins at bay, but Dolphins are a dog this week too. So I'm not excited about this game at all. I don't think they should be this big of a favorite.
No.
Their offenses look kind of shitty.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, on the Colts commentary, it was crazy that we got that price, but I think one of the reasons we did was because who's excited about backing the Chargers right now? the offensive scheme is just so trash, and Herbert is elevating it, I guess. But yeah, I'm kind of in shock that the Chargers are here at 9 wins in the playoffs. I mean, good job. I'm glad Herbert gets to get his playoff feet wet this year, but they got a long way to go to be, in the class that the other teams were really realistically thinking can win that conference. There going to be any slime in this game?
No, it's not a Nickelodeon game, but I mean, these feel like tune-up games. Get your offense right. Get your offense right for the playoffs, guys. If both receivers are playing well, this isn't a team that can't go into like Cincinnati and win a game. Williams and Allen are very good. Just the scheme in general kind of stinks. And
Yeah,
I guess I don't see them hiring a new offensive coordinator before wild card weekend. So
it'd be cool though if they
everything.
did.
Yeah, disregard
Be a lot
everything.
cooler if they did.
Hey,
All
man.
right. No opinion on this one. I guess the winner, this is a battle of LA in the sense that maybe fighting for the second favorite NFL franchise in the city of LA after the Raiders, and then fighting for maybe the 8th favorite overall franchise in sports for the city of LA. Not sure what the power ratings look like, but it's probably Lakers 1, Dodgers 2, maybe Mexican national football team 3, the U.S. national team 4.
Are they calling it that? The battle of
I don't know. Sweet
now in the fire.
I don't know. But Clippers are up there. Angels may be up there. Definitely Kings are in the mix. Ducks may be in the mix, and then the Rams probably after them. And Raiders, of course, are in the top 5
soccer
for sure.
teams.
Yeah. All that said, hope everybody goes and has fun. It's a great stadium. They did a really nice job.
Clippers 11.
Pittsburgh at Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not betting. Baltimore is very interesting. Pittsburgh is beloved by the market, and they've been rewarding the market, even if some of those wins were weird games, a lot of low-scoring games. And, yeah, we have a total of 36 in this one. Lamar Jackson did not practice today. It is not looking good for that.
No. And this came off a 3.
It is 2.5. And this total at Chris right now is down to 34.5.
Awesome.
I love that we're getting it in this era of high scoring, high flying offenses. Scoring goes up every year. If you'd have told me we'd had like 3 or 4 totals close under 35 this year, like
what happened? Did the players get? Was there just widespread COVID is back? COVID is back.
No, there was a strike. There was a strike. We have replacement players. Fucking Keanu Reeves is out there.
Oh man, you might as well be. I mean, I'm not really loving what I've seen so far from Huntley. Although good job on the win last week. I guess actually I needed him to get that win. I think I had them in a bunch of teasers. But anyway, I like the Steelers this week. I bet them at 3. I'm pretty heavily loaded there. I actually didn't bet as much as I would have because I was holding a little in the back of my pocket in case we got like a positive. Like I kind of expected we would see some Lamar's practicing, but he would still not play. And I thought maybe the news of him practicing might give us a shot at a 3.5, but we never got there. He's definitely not going. I don't know when we're going to see him again. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I don't have a read at all on Lamar Jackson's availability for a playoff run for the Ravens.
Yeah, if he did not play in the playoff game, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, I don't think so either.
Even if it were more of a, hey, I'm holding out. Also,
yeah, same.
Have you seen the Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs? Like,
yeah,
I'm not sure I want to play.
Seriously. No, and I like this matchup for Pittsburgh a bunch of ways. Even with Lamar, the Ravens don't have the tools in the wide receiving room to give the Steelers hell in terms of their weakness defensively, and the Pittsburgh D line's freaking solid. I think they got a good performance in them to keep the Ravens in check in this one, and then we're just counting on Pickett to Pickens and more of what we saw to end the game against the Raiders to win this game against the Ravens. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, Andy, but there is no love lost between these two teams.
I'm not going to play the bad number now that it's down to 2.5, but
yeah,
they are there's a decent shot. I might just have some Steelers money line at some point live during this game.
I like that call.
Kind of going to watch the flow of it. If the number doesn't get away from me, like if it's looking like a spot where I can trust the Steelers offense a little.
You think the Steelers are trying to get a win here, even though they're out of it? I think they probably are, right? You think Mike Tomlin cares about finishing at or above 500
for
the 9 millionth consecutive season?
They're not eliminated.
They're not eliminated. That's true. They could finish 9-8.
Technically, the 6, and this is funny too. I didn't even look up the scenario, but the Raiders are technically not eliminated.
Whoa.
But they are sitting behind
Jared
the Steelers.
Stidham time, baby.
They're sitting. Not only that, but like they're behind like 5 other teams, and those teams play each other. So I just assumed right off the bat that like some of those in the scenario, the mathematic scenario that they left
they all
it, like
tie
some
each
of those teams would have to tie each other. Like basically, if this game occurs and a team wins, it eliminates the Raiders. It's kind of what I'm feeling is the case there. But the Steelers do have a path in. Obviously, they'd have to win out, and they would need help from like
if the
3 other
Chiefs
teams.
get the 2 seed and draw the Steelers again this year, I fucking quit. I quit. Like that can't happen. It cannot happen. Please, anything but that happen, please. Good Lord. Now I want the Steelers to lose this game.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be here.
So I mean, and with the Dolphins having to start Bridgewater, that's a big bump for the Steelers' playoff chances.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my God, I'm getting indigestion.
I mean, it's not a super high. I think they're. Someone says they have a 2% chance right now, which is
okay. That's
higher than other teams have had. They need
that
the
was
Dolphins. They need the Dolphins to lose to the Patriots and the Jets.
Okay.
They need the Jets. This is the tough one. They need the Jets to lose to Seattle this week,
but then beat the Patriots next week, or beat the Dolphins.
And then,
okay.
Yeah, but then no. Yeah, and then beat the Dolphins. Okay. And then they need the Patriots to lose week 18 at Buffalo, which is a small chance that Buffalo's not playing for anything there. It's not a big chance because they
need to win out.
Chiefs will be chasing, yeah. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but there's a lot that has to happen. So I think they're playing for the win. It's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he's trying to get to 500, man. That's what he does.
He ain't going to do it. He ain't getting to 500.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, for the purposes of handicapping this game, even though the Steelers are 7-8 and the Ravens are 10-5, throw out the records.
It should. Well, yeah. But joking aside about that, you should throw out the records right now because this is not the 10-5 team.
I don't even know what the Ravens should be. Like thinking about all the weird games they lost and won this year, what should their record even actually be?
I don't know. Probably like 8-7.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems fair.
All right. Well, let's put it
firm but fair.
Sunday. I'll be home. Please, hopefully home. My flights still continue to get canceled and fucked with in every way imaginable. But I hopefully will be home on Sunday for a normal podcast. At which point we will do very, very due service to the game of the season in the regular season, of course, which is going to be Bills versus Bengals. Right now.
Well said, Drew.
17,
could not agree more.
And we'll see you on Sunday.
See you guys. I can't unmute Drew.
Oops. Oh, sorry. I think I may be available for Titans Cowboys halftime tomorrow, but it's such a piece of shit game. I kind of don't want to bother. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.